It begins with a stadium caught between silence and thunder. A warm Munich evening in 1972, the Olympic cauldron glowing above a restless sea of spectators. Cameras click, flags flutter. A hush ripples across the stands as a tall, ponytailed 16-year-old steps toward the high jump apron, her spikes biting softly into the track. She is unknown to many, unexpected to most, but something in her eyes, wide yet unwavering, hints that she is about to do the unbelievable. The bar stands at 1.92 meters. Higher than anything she has ever cleared in competition, higher than any woman has cleared in Olympic history. The crowd breathes in, the world holds still. And for a moment, Ulrike Meyfarth feels time thinning around her, the noise fading, the universe narrowing to a single line, the bar, shining like a challenge from destiny. She backs away, her heart thundering in her chest, the echo of her coach's calm voice somewhere in her mind. Just jump. Trust yourself. Then she runs, long, elegant strides. The curve, the takeoff, a flash of youthful fearlessness, and suddenly she is flying, her back arching, limbs flowing, hair trailing the air as the stadium freezes in wonder. Her shoulder brushes close, the bar trembles, but stays. For one breathless heartbeat, the world erupts. That night, at just 16, Ulrike Meyfarth becomes the youngest Olympic champion in high jump history. Newspapers will call it shocking. Commentators will say she came out of nowhere. But the story that led to that legendary leap, and the even more extraordinary story that followed, is far bigger than one moment of triumph. It is a journey of talent discovered too young, success earned too soon, expectations crushing, injuries relentless, doubt consuming, and then, a rebirth unlike anything athletics had seen. This documentary follows that entire odyssey. It unveils her childhood and early passion for movement, the playful beginnings that shaped her athletic style. It explores how an unexpected Olympic victory transformed her life overnight, and how the weight of early fame nearly crushed her career. It dives into the struggles of the late 1970s, when setbacks piled up and the world seemed ready to forget the teenage prodigy. It relives her astonishing return in the early 1980s, culminating in Los Angeles 1984, where she reclaimed Olympic gold 12 years after her first, a comeback so improbable it became the stuff of legend. This is a story of resilience, reinvention, and the long, winding road between brilliance and greatness. It's a story of a woman who soared once by accident, and soared again by will. And it all begins long before Munich. She was born on May 4, 1956, in Frankfurt, West Germany, a city still rebuilding after war, a place where children found their joy in open fields, makeshift playgrounds, and endless games. Ulrike grew up tall, energetic, curious. Teachers described her as a child who never stopped moving. Her parents encouraged her to stay active, offering no pressure, just freedom to explore her physical abilities. At school she tried running, throwing, gymnastics, but nothing captivated her quite like the feeling of going up, rising off the ground, defying gravity. She loved the moment her feet left the earth, the instant weightlessness that felt like magic. By 11, she had joined a local athletics club. Coaches quickly noticed her unusual combination of height, coordination, and natural spring. She was taller than most kids her age, already slender and elastic, with long legs that seemed built for lift. But what truly set her apart wasn't her physique, it was her sense of rhythm. Her approach to the bar wasn't rushed. Her run curved gently, almost gracefully, as if she were dancing into the jump rather than attacking it. In those early years, high jump was changing. The old straddle technique was fading, and Dick Fosbury's revolutionary flop, introduced in the 1968 Olympics, was inspiring young athletes everywhere. Ulrike, still a girl, took to the new technique instinctively. She practiced endlessly, enjoying the feel of rolling her back over the bar. Her coach recalled, she had a natural elegance. She made the flop beautiful, yet despite her promise, no one imagined she would become a global sensation so soon. She was simply a talented teenager competing in local meets, improving quietly, slowly. Then, in 1971, she cleared 1.83 meters, and everything changed. The German Athletic Federation took notice. Scouts began following her competitions. And as the 1972 Munich Olympics approached, West Germany was eager to showcase young talent on home soil. Ulrike, though still only 15, found herself competing against older athletes at elite meets. She held her own. She kept improving. She was too young to feel pressure, or perhaps she simply didn't yet understand it. When she arrived in Munich for the Games, she was not considered a favorite. She didn't even consider herself a contender for the finals. She was there for the experience, the Olympic Village, the world's best athletes, the excitement of being among them. In interviews, she smiled shyly and said she was just happy to jump. But something inside her ignited when she walked into the Olympic Stadium. The energy of the crowd, the sight of the high jump apron, the sense of being part of something vast, it awakened a deeper determination. She cleared every height with surprising ease. As the bar rose, top athletes began to fall away. Ulrike stayed. Confidence grew. Her coach whispered between jumps, "Keep going. You have nothing to lose." Then came 1.92 meters, a height she had never cleared. The moment she soared over that bar, everything changed. The audience exploded. The cameras turned fully toward her. Suddenly, this teenager was no longer the wide-eyed newcomer. She was the one to beat. When she finally won gold with a world record equaling jump of 1.92 meters, she stood atop the podium overwhelmed, the German anthem playing, tears glistening as thousands cheered. But with glory came a shadow that would follow her for years. Fame arrived overnight, and it wasn't gentle. Reporters besieged her, headlines declared her a prodigy. Sponsors reached out, TV appearances multiplied. Expectations soared to impossible heights, strangers recognized her everywhere she went. She was 16, trying to stay in school, trying to grow up, trying to understand herself, while the world demanded she remain perfect, unbeatable, forever the golden girl of Munich. Pressure began to squeeze the joy out of the sport. Training grew heavier, more serious. She felt eyes on her constantly, comparing her to the icon she had been at 16. Her body changed as she matured. The natural awkwardness of adolescence made her technique less fluid. Injuries crept in, ankle strains, back pain, knee issues. Suddenly the bar felt heavier, the apron colder. Competitions that once felt exciting now felt suffocating. The late 1970s were a struggle. She fought, she pushed, she adjusted her technique, but the results didn't match the expectations set by her extraordinary youth. Commentators whispered that she had peaked early. Some said her gold had been a fluke. Others doubted she would ever return to elite form. Those criticisms cut deep. At training, she sometimes stared at the bar silently, thinking, "Why can't I jump like I used to?" Yet she didn't quit. That stubbornness, quiet, steady, resilient, would become the foundation of her legendary comeback. Around 1979 and 1980, something shifted. She began rebuilding herself from the ground up. She focused on strength, stability, and technical refinement. She worked with new coaches, adjusted her timing, improved her speed on the curve. The results were gradual but noticeable. She started jumping higher again. The joy returned, not the innocent joy of childhood, but the pride of an adult rediscovering her purpose. The boycott of the 1980 Moscow Games meant she missed the chance to compete at what could have been an important Olympic chapter, but instead of discouraging her, it gave her more time to grow. She kept training, she kept believing, and by the early 1980s, the world began to see a new Ulrike Meyfarth emerging, not the teenage phenom, but a mature, powerful athlete with renewed confidence. Then came 1982, the European Championships in Athens. Under the bright lights of the Olympic Stadium, she soared to a new world record of 2.02 meters, becoming the first woman to break the 2-meter barrier outdoors. The crowd roared as she stood smiling, taller and steadier than ever. She raised her arms, savoring a moment that felt like redemption after years of struggle. From that point, she was no longer the girl who jumped high once. She was a champion reborn. This set the stage for the defining moment of her career, the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. Los Angeles thronged with sunshine, glamour, and anticipation. Ulrike, now 28, carried herself with calm experience. She had been here before, but this time she was not the wide-eyed teenager. She was a veteran. She understood pressure. She understood her body, and she understood exactly what it meant to walk back into an Olympic arena with something to prove. The competition was fierce. Heights climbed steadily, 1.88, 1.93, 1.97, 2.00 rivals fell, the field narrowed, and the tension crackled in the desert air. Ulrike stayed focused, breathing steadily before each run-up. She felt the years inside her, the triumphs, the struggles, the doubts, the hopes all converging in this moment. At 2.02 meters, the stadium held its breath. Her run was smooth, powerful, her takeoff was clean. As she sailed over the bar, the world seemed to pause once again, just as it had in Munich 12 years earlier. She landed on the mat, stared up at the bar trembling above her, still in place, and broke into a brilliant smile. She had done it. At 28, Ulrike Meyfarth became Olympic champion again, the only high jumper, male or female, to win gold 12 years apart. It was more than victory, it was vindication. A full-circle triumph, proof that success born young can be matured, lost, fought for, rebuilt, and reclaimed. The press celebrated her comeback as one of the greatest in athletics history. Spectators admired her grace, her perseverance, her unwavering belief in herself. She had not only resurrected her career, she had elevated it to an entirely new level. After 1984, she continued competing at a high level, winning medals and contributing to the sport she loved. She eventually retired in 1987, transitioning into coaching, mentoring, and later into public speaking and athletic administration. She remained a symbol of elegance in the air and resilience on the ground. Today, Ulrike Meyfarth's legacy stands as a testament to longevity, patience, and the courage to rise again after falling. Her gold medals in 1972 and 1984 are not just athletic achievements, they are reminders that greatness is not defined by how early it comes, but by how long it endures. Her journey teaches us that success is rarely a straight line. Sometimes we soar before we understand why, sometimes we fall before we learn how to rise. And sometimes, if we keep believing, keep training, keep fighting, keep dreaming, we get the chance to fly higher than ever before. Ulrike Meyfarth flew twice, and the second flight was even more beautiful than the first. If Ulrike's story inspired you, if her resilience, her determination, and her incredible return to greatness moved you, then join us on this journey of uncovering the real stories of the world's greatest athletes. Like, share, and subscribe to Behind the Medal for more powerful stories of courage, discipline, and the human spirit.